the Brent0331 YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to be taking an up-close look at Crossfire's new load-bearing equipment called the DZ rig. Now, what is the DZ rig? Well, essentially, it's load-bearing equipment based on the old British combat-proven design with a PLCE system. So when we take an up-close look at this, you guys will see the similarities and the differences in how Crossfire took that combat-proven design and updated it for a modern battlefield. Now, I absolutely love load-bearing equipment, guys. It's my preferred way of carrying gear. In the GWAT, we've kind of had a tendency of taking all of our equipment and attaching it to your plate carrier or your flak vest, whatever the case may be. And essentially, it ties you to that body armor to where you have to use it for every single task, okay? When I was a young Marine in the 2003 Iraq invasion, hey, we had to dig fighting positions every time we came to a stop. So with modern day equipment and how everything is set up now, attached to your body armor, you have to dig that fighting position wearing all your shit. Back then, we could take our load-bearing equipment because we had Molly 2 fighting load carriers, set it off to the side, wear our flak and Kevlars because there was still a threat of IDF, indirect fire, dig our fighting position, and as soon as our fighting position was done, you could take your fighting load carrier, put it back on over your flak vest, and man your position, okay? So there are certain times where having to wear all your shit isn't ideal. Long range reconnaissance patrol is another thing that comes to mind, okay? You gotta conduct reconnaissance. You're an RNS team and you gotta conduct reconnaissance far out in enemy lines. And hey, you sacrifice some of that protection for stealth when you strip your body armor off, okay? And that is more ideal when you're operating those small teams and you're looking more towards stealth than you know, moving through with all this extra shit on, right? Your plate carriers, your flaks, your Kevlars, things like that nature, okay? Obviously, if you're conducting stealth and reconnaissance operations, you want to be as slim and as light as possible. So what do I like about load-bearing equipment? Well, load-bearing equipment, if it's designed right, can work in conjunction with your body armor. This Crossfire DZ rig is just like that. You guys can see I've got a plate carrier on right now. If I was going to wear you know, a flak vest or full body armor, I could do this. I could adjust these straps so that it could go on right above my system. And if I need to take it off, hey, I could take off the load-bearing equipment. I could drop my body armor if need be. I can put my load-bearing equipment back on, and I can tighten these buckles down, and there we go. I got my warfighting equipment on minus the body armor. If you want to wear body armor, put the body armor on, take that fucking load-bearing equipment, put it on over the body armor, okay? So that is why I prefer load-bearing equipment as opposed to attaching everything to my respective body armor for that reason. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive into this so you guys can get an up-close look at it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment. All right, let's start with the harness. You guys can see all points of this harness here can be adjusted. So you can adjust this harness to your specific person, okay? Again, not everybody's the same. Some people are taller, some people are shorter, some people are skinnier, some people are fatter. Okay, so you can adjust all this stuff to accommodate your specific person. And each strap has the Velcro securing mechanism there so that you can strap down the excess strappage so that you don't have to cut it or tape it or anything like that. You can easily adjust that if need be. The straps attached to these D-rings. As you guys can see, the D-rings are mounted on all parts spread out throughout the gear itself to help best position this, this harness here to support this web equipment. Wearing this stuff up in the mountains, guys, testing and evaluating this rig during the SEER challenge, I can honestly say it is a very comfortable rig. At some points, like, I didn't even feel like I was wearing gear. It was that comfortable. So they absolutely did a outstanding job of coming up with the right straps and attachment points on distributing this weight properly. So very good job with that. The yoke and harness itself, you guys can see it's got some ventilated mesh here in the back. You also have some daisy chains. You can utilize something like a carabiner that can attach to that daisy chain for whatever purpose. Those daisy chains go all the way down on each side, guys, on the harness straps, shoulder straps. You guys can see how that works. All right, let's flip this over so you can see the reverse side. And that's the inside of what these straps look like. You also have a sternum strap, Fastech style buckle. You can adjust this easily. So Crossfire has their own little mounting system here that can quickly attach and detach that so that you can move this up or down on these daisy chains to best position the sternum strap to your liking. And you guys can see I've already got it attached. Okay, so very easily you can either remove this completely or adjust this to your liking on these shoulder straps on where you want them. And then once again, like always, if you want to throw a carabiner on there to freaking hang your gloves off or whatever the case may be, you can do so. All right. One thing I also want to point out, you see two just random buckles here. These buckles will, this rig comes with a strap that will attach onto a ruck. So if you have a ruck and you want to attach those straps to it, it'll help position that pack in a certain manner on your back so that you know, it stays in place. Okay. So the way this works is I'm replacing the waist belt of this pack with these straps that are going to tie into my load bearing equipment. So essentially the load bearing equipment is going to act as my new hip pad. So as you guys can see, these brackets on each side, that's what the waist belt ties into. Instead of using that waist belt, now I'm going to tie this into there by simply just pushing through. And there, it's locked in place. All right, and now I can buckle these into the gear itself. You know, my thoughts on that, I'm not too sold on those. I don't know if those are absolutely necessary. It is a feature though. That's why I wanted to discuss it and talk about it. So I don't know if I would be too comfortable, you know, combining my pack to my web gear itself. I would think that there might be some issues with that if I needed to quick disconnect my ruck, okay? But anyway, let's move on. All right, so the main meat and potatoes of this rig, okay? Let's flip this back over. You guys can see you have just a solid panel of padding right here, okay? So this is the bread and butter, and this is what really makes this rig extremely comfortable. This is probably one of the most comfortable sets of web equipment I've ever had on my body. Okay, so that is a huge plus, guys. I'm telling you, it's extremely comfortable. Okay, it secures. Well, and you can also see how this is contoured here. So my understanding is one of the gentlemen that had input in designing this, he was a, I think he was a physical therapist, and he helped design this aspect right here of designing this, and it helped with the rubbing and how it contoured with the body as you moved and everything else. So I'm oversimplifying this, but that was my understanding. And you know, wearing this up in the mountains, constantly moving, going up and down and over arduous terrain, I can honestly say none of this rubbed on me, and it all worked very well with my body. Okay, so the closure mechanism. So this system here came with two different styles of buckle. I believe this is their Crossfire's proprietary buckle called their Cobra buckle. And essentially, all you gotta do is push in here on these little wings, and it disconnects, okay? So insert, connects, push forward, disconnects. All right, that is their Cobra style buckle. It also came with a you know, a big Fastech style buckle. Not this size, much bigger, the same size as this Cobra buckle, but more of a traditional Fastech style. So whichever one you wanted. When I first got this, I saw this Cobra buckle. I'd never seen it before. I was like, what the hell is that? I asked my buddy John at UW Gear, I was like, what the hell is this buckle? And he's like, oh, that's their Cobra buckle. You know, it's pretty cool. And I wanted to try it out, okay? So that's their Cobra buckle. If you want to use this one or, you know, a more traditional a larger fast stick style buckle, it comes with both, or at least my rig did. You guys can see you can adjust it on each side to accommodate your width. Okay, so whatever size waist you have, you can do that. Wrap up the straps, secure them down with this Velcro. That's what it's there for, so you don't have to cut it or tape it or anything like that. So if you are wearing this gear in conjunction with body armor per se, so in other words, again, that's my biggest thing about the benefit of wearing load-bearing equipment, is that you can wear it both with armor and without armor. Okay, but when you put that armor on and you put this load-bearing equipment over it, obviously you're going to be a little bit wider, so you need to adjust the strappage. Well, you can do that with this because, again, it's easy to adjust. So that's a huge benefit. The way this gear is designed, guys, is to keep the front half of you more open. All right, why is that important? Because when you're in the prone, you can get a little bit lower to the ground. All right, so they're deliberately designing this rig to keep the front half of you open so that there's no interference while you're on the ground, as opposed to if you had magazines right here or a chest rig, it's going to elevate you that much more off the ground. My 2 cents on that, I'm just not a big fan of that, guys. Again, this is me talking. Everybody's different. I know a lot of guys that do not like anything here, right? For those very reasons. They like to be low. They want to get as low as possible on the ground. For me, I like having, I would probably much prefer at least another panel to come out to about right here. That's how I have some of my other rigs set up. And that's just how I run my gear. I feel like I'm losing some space here and carrying ability with my web equipment, and it is what it is. But if you're the kind of guy that does not like to have any kind of gear on this front half here so that you can get low to the ground and everything else, absolutely this is designed 100% for that. All right, but if you're a skinnier guy, it's going to be a lot closer in, obviously. But for me, this is absolutely, as you guys can see in the video I'm showing, this whole area is open. There's no interference. So if I go into prone, it's absolutely going to be flat. So that is the overall rig and how it goes on your body and attaches to you. Okay, so now we can actually get into talking about the pouches itself. So the way this rig is set up is you have one large pouch in the very rear. Now, I'm kind of going to use this term loosely. This is kind of like your butt pack. However, I will tell you this is much smaller than a typical butt pack. All right, guys, so here's a side-by-side comparison to a standard size butt pack and the Sustainment pouch on the back side of the DZ rig. So clearly the butt pack is much larger. Okay, this takes up much more rear estate, obviously, than this pouch right here. This is obviously way bigger, can hold more stuff than this this pouch right here. So it just comes down to, like, what do you need to carry on your mission? So me personally, I opt for a larger butt pack because I carry things in here like a Gore-Tex top, a field strip chow, rifle cleaning gear, ship paper wipes, cami paint, stuff like that. I'm not going to be able to fit all that inside this Sustainment pouch. I'm going to be able to fit a lot of stuff inside here, but probably not the things that I typically carry inside a butt pack. So if you're carrying or using this rig and you need that extra accommodation of gear, you're probably gonna have to run a the DG1 day pack in combination with this rig, which obviously this rig accommodates that pack very well. So just for size purposes, so that you guys could see, I put a full 2-quart canteen in there. Okay, so give you a bearing on how the size of this this pouch. And on top of that, I'm still able to put some additional items in there. So again, bigger than your typical 200 round box saw drum pouch, but smaller than your typical butt pack. But nonetheless, guys, it does have some space in there. It can accommodate stuff like a you know, a field strip chow in addition to some snivel gear and other things like that that you need to carry in a, you know, a sustainment pouch. On each side, it's flanked by 2 pouches, which clearly are can be used anyways for canteens. Okay, so whether you have a canteen or so this pouch right here, I had my canteen cup in. There you go, so you guys can see that. Accommodates obviously a USGI 1-quart canteen very well. An Nalgene bottle, no problem. Let's see, I might have, yeah, I know I have, here it is. This is a Australian bottle. Let's see if it fits this sucker. This might be a tight fit. Oh, this one's gonna be going in like a glove. All right, so it took a little bit of effort, but I got it in, guys, just so you can see the size of this. Now, whether it can secure, that might be tough. I don't know if that's gonna secure. Well, I'll talk about the securing methods a little bit more here in a minute. That's gonna be a tight fit, but nonetheless, it is in there. Okay, you have the Australian bottle. Did get in there, but if you have an Nalgene bottle or a standard USGI 1-quart canteen, obviously no worry, that sucker got in there. It fits in there perfectly. Okay, so those 2 pockets flanked on the side of this rear Sustainment style pouch obviously are perfect and ideal for canteens. Can you put other stuff in there? Absolutely, and I'll even show you that, you know, whether it's night vision or, you know, small handheld thermal or maybe even binoculars, you know, other things can go into this pouch itself. You have these pouches are flanked by 2 pouches that are essentially magazine pouches. Again, can you put other shit in there? Absolutely. But I think the point of these is, without a doubt, so that you can carry magazines. There's also MOLLE paneling on this row. Okay, so if you want to take these mag pouches off and put something on this area right here, this is MOLLE all the way down and around. All right, so this whole section right here on both sides is MOLLE paneling. These 3 pouches are sewn in, these are not. These are secured with MOLLE, so these can be removed and something else can go there if you so choose. Each pouch here will hold 3 AR-15 style magazines. I was able to get a 4th regular, if you have a Stenag, NATO standard, you know, older style aluminum AR-15 style magazine. I was able to get a 4th one in here, but it was very tight. So if you're gonna try to run this like that, yeah, you can get that 4th magazine in there. It will fit, but you're not gonna be able to pull it out quickly. Okay, it would be more of a like a sustainment kind of thing. But it was capable of holding that. But nonetheless, you guys can see between these 2 pouches right here, that's 6 magazines. So 6 magazines here and one of my weapon, guys, that's 7 magazines. That's a combat load. All right, so if that's the case, you want to run all your magazines on your, let's say you're right-handed and you want to run it on your support side, your magazines for magazine reload. Hey, all your magazines over here, and then this leaves this open for something else. You know, what else can you fit in here? You know, hey, whatever you need. Okay, here I got some map orienteering type equipment. All right, compass and notepad and stuff like that. So first aid kit of like a bleeder pouch, things of that nature, you know, would fit perfectly in something like this. Okay, or if you want to take these completely off, throw a different pouch on there, absolutely. But or you can run more magazines. So definitely accommodate a hell of a combat load. Also on the front pouch here, you guys can see there's 2 rows of MOLLE webbing, so you can attach a pistol pouch, a little utility pouch for a Gerber or Leatherman, or a tourniquet or something along those lines, anything you want to put. So magazine compatibility with these pouches. So I have two AK-47 AKM 7.62 by 39 style magazines. These are Magpul brand magazines. I can put them in there sideways or forward facing. The lid on this pouch, I don't know if I can secure that with a tab, but I can secure it with Velcro. Okay, so just know that. Maybe different AK magazines will fit differently, but so far with these Magpul ones, I can get two in there comfortably, and I can close the pouch with Velcro. Might be able to get these bands around partial the tab. So it's definitely not a pouch designed for AK magazines, at least not these two Magpul ones. Let's try sideways. Yeah, same thing. So I can close Velcro, but I can't use all the features. So what about 7.62 by 51 millimeter? So I've got a 20 round PMag magazine here. That goes in there very nicely. I can definitely get one more in there as well. And I could put those in there. It looks like either forward facing or on its side. And this pouch definitely secures. So you can secure with both Velcro, tab, and bungees. Now, I want to talk about the closure system with these pouches. Actually, before I get to that, I want to point this out. You guys can see on the top of this pouch here, you have kind of MOLLE paneling. So obviously, if you got like a tourniquet or a small pistol style pouch, you can hold stuff like a Gerber in there. One thing I did while I was up there in the SEER challenge is I ran bungee cords through this, and I secured a poncho on the top of that Sustainment pouch. Okay, so that was something that enabled me to carry more additional equipment. All right, so how do these pouches secure? So these pouches have essentially three methods of securing the pouch itself, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? You have a Velcro piece, all right? And oh, and by the way, every time I do anything with Velcro, I always have one or two people being like, I hate Velcro, it's too loud, blah, 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 okay? If you don't want to use the Velcro, you have the ability to cover it up, all right? You don't have to use it, all right? If you do want to use the Velcro, you can open it up, tuck this under this tab right here, and now it closes with Velcro. That leads me to my second means of closure. This is a hard tab right here, and this is like just a regular pull tab, but you tuck that hard tab underneath this flap, and it secures. Very similar to the way UW Gear's chest rigs and pouches on his rigs secure. All right, so Velcro and a hard tab, and if you need to open, you just pull this tab here, and you guys can see it pulls right off, all right? So if you're trying to close the pouch in a hurry, and you got the Velcro, hey, Velcro closes it. If you got the time and effort, hard tab, in addition to the Velcro, there you go, it's more secure. Now, tertiary means of securing this pouch. I believe they were saying that this is for like jumping out of aircraft and stuff like that. You really need to make sure that this pouch is secure. You guys can see that it has this bungee cord retention that you can tighten up, by the way. All right, on all of these pouches, they have the cord lock so that you can tighten that bungee cord, and you can tuck this tab underneath that bungee cord. So this pouch is not coming undone, okay? It's pretty freaking secure. It's got Velcro, it's got the tab, and then the pull tab itself is secured by the bungee that you can easily pull out and open the pouch, all right? So 3 means of securing that pouch. Do you have to use all 3? No, absolutely not. Use the one you want to use, okay? If you don't like the Velcro, cover up the Velcro with the tab. Just use the hard tab and or securing it with the bungee. All right, gentlemen, that completes my review of this Crossfire DZ rig. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, don't forget to check out my channel. I've already done several reviews over gear, weapons, and all kinds of other shit, okay? So be sure to check it out, all right? If you're liking this rig, I'll also have a link to where you can find it. And again, I would take a serious look at load-bearing equipment because, in my opinion, it's the best route. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment.